Hey, good morning to you, Pastor Slack. I hope you and the family are doing well, man. And I just want to put together a little short video to welcome you to the Purpose Development Coaching family. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover in a short period of time, some of the what this journey is going to look like, so you have some idea, going forward, as to what we're going to be diving into. Now, just want to say this right out of the gate is that I know that time is precious, time is of essence. So I want to make sure that we can make the most efficient use of your time. I know I don't want this to be something that consumes a lot of your time, but I will tell you this is that, mastering purpose development coaching, I don't think that we ever reach a level where we say we really have mastered it, because I've been doing it for 30 years and still trying to master it. So in these next 30 to 60 days, we just want to get you to a place where you have enough level of comprehension to pass that certification test and get your purpose development coaching designation. All right. So let me kind of go over some things and talk to you a little bit about the 6-week boot camp, and we're going to talk about some things covered here in the manual. We're going to go through all three of the manuals that you're going to be receiving as soon as we get those that payment in. You remit the payment, and we can ship those manuals out. But you'll also have, when you do remit your payment, you're going to have immediate access to these as well. You're going to have immediate access to the digital copies, because I'm going to give you access to the online portal as soon as that happens. And you can go ahead if you wanted to start, even before these manuals get there. So let's go over the 6-week boot camp first. Number one, I'm going to be spending one-on-one time with you. We're trying to get more people in the cohort so that we can create that synergy. And if not, then hey, look, we'll work with what we have. But in the first week, we're going to be talking about how do you hit that discipleship sweet spot, or that bullseye, that we're talking about. And why is it important? It's important because we want to make sure that you can get more out of the people that God's called you to minister to with the least amount of effort. It's going to minimize that whole thing on burnout. I know you've been in ministry for a while, but this is going to take ministry to a whole new level, because a lot of ministers, they know who they're ministering to, but they don't know what they're ministering to. So this process is going to teach you about the what. We got the critical coaching solution manual that's going to be very critical and instrumental to teach you about what God has created that allows us to get more out of people with the least amount of effort. We're not focusing on the who, we're just focusing on the what. So this is the critical coaching solution manual. This is the first phase that you're going to be covering in your training. Then we also have what we call the human experience, or the existence and performance guide. See, purpose development coaching is an existence and performance solution. A lot of coaching programs, they talk a lot about performance, but they don't focus on existence. So we've learned that the key existence indicators is what drive the KPIs. So a lot of times, we can wear ourselves out with the KPIs, trying to get people to do this, do that. But we don't understand that if we understand how to crack the code of purpose, we can get more out of them, increasing their KPIs to do the work of the ministry. So this is what we call our human experience manual, existence and performance. It's going to teach you how all the systems that God have put within humanity, interacts with the human experience. Because see, we're used to, as ministry leaders, we're used to giving them a mountaintop experience when they come to church. But real ministry occurs when they leave your ministry. And when they leave the four walls of the church, that's where real ministry occurs. That's where intuitive growth is going to be critical. So this entire process, all three manuals, is an intuitive growth process. Almost 400 pages of content, but I promise you, you're going to become an expert in intuitive growth, that you'll be able to do wonders with the people in your ministry, wonders with the people on your job, and any other avenue that you decide to build your practice of purpose development coaching in. So this is our existence and performance guide. Very powerful. We're going to take you through that as well. And then lastly, we have our how to coach a client manual. In other words, this is where you begin to understand how to work with people and create a new practice habits. Because, you can have, a lot of people in your church, and they still have bad habits of, how they come to church, when they come to church, how they interact with people, just bad habits on a lot of stuff. But this is going to give you a fresh understanding of how to use those systems to create new practice habits that's going to take discipleship to a new level for you. I promise you, this is critical for you in the ministry that you're beginning to pioneer. It's going to allow you to work smart in your ministry and not hard. It's going to allow them to make smarter decisions about your messages. So it's going to be extremely important for you to go through this process, because we're going to unpack the model in week 2, the PDI SMART model, where we're going to teach them how we're going to unpack that model. So you know what those checkpoints are. So you know how to be proficient in giving your members a stronger command for the for-purpose development checkpoints. I promise you that when you work with them in that capacity, you're going to find yourself getting more out of them with the least amount of effort. That's what that model is for. Then we're going to unpack the purpose development bridge. Wow, I'm telling you, that's very exciting, because you're going to see purpose in a way that you've never seen purpose in your entire life when you unpack that bridge. This bridge will help you, in your personal life, in your marriage. It's going to help you on your job. It's going to help you in every aspect of your life. We call it the bridge to the future. It's the bridge that we build to the future. And now as a leader, you're going to understand how to build that bridge, because you'll be amazed at so many preachers that are out there that they have no idea on how to build this bridge, but they're trying to take people toward their vision. Well, people have to cross the purpose development bridge to be able to fully engage with the vision of your ministry. So we're going to go through that in week 3. And then in week 4, we're going to be talking about how do we advance the desire to succeed beyond the reality of failure. So at any given moment, people that you're ministering to, they have to deal with the reality of failure in so many areas, but you're going to learn a unique skill set on how to advance that desire to succeed. See, when you unpack purpose development in this manner, then you can advance that desire beyond the reality of failure to cause people to build out that capacity for sustaining purpose over time. See, that's what this entire process is going to do. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Learning that process right there is worth $1 million. I'm going to say it again. Learning that process, this entire process, literally is worth $1 million. All right? Because it's going to make ministry so much more beneficial for them and so much more pleasurable for you. And then week 5, we're going to unpack the human experience a little bit more so that you can understand, how to really work with the believers in that capacity, of the human experience, so that now the human experience does not digress into a human experiment. People are experimenting with a lot of stuff. You'll be amazed at how people experiment with churches. If that church don't work, then I go down the street and I experiment at this church. It's because we don't understand how to unpack purpose development in the human experience. This is where we're going to help you understand how to increase the retention in your ministry. All right, the retention of people staying with your vision for a long period of time. And then lastly, in week 6, we're going to talk about cashing in on purpose capital. Here's the deal. Every person in your ministry, they have purpose capital. But most leaders don't even know it's there and don't know how to cash in on it. Well, I'm going to teach you how to cash in on purpose capital, so that now you can make purpose capital work for you. I promise you, when you make purpose capital work for you, then you're going to be able to get more out of the members that are in your church than the effort that you're putting in for the least amount of effort. You're going to get more out of yourself with the least amount of effort. So it's a very exciting process, man. And I promise you that you'll probably be like everybody else. They say, hey, man, look, a lot of content, but it was definitely well worth the investment. And I want to make sure that I communicate that to you. We support you in every way that we can for you to be successful and you to impact your community with the gospel of God's kingdom and impact your community beyond the 4 walls of the church as well. So again, I look forward, sir, to working with you in this capacity. It's going to be an exciting year in 2023. Guess what? You don't have to go through another year, trying to preach with power instead of preaching to empower. This process is going to teach you how to preach to empower the people that you are working with. God bless you, sir. I'm ready to get started. I'm excited, ready to jump in, roll up my sleeves, and go to work with you. And let's go make an impact on behalf of the kingdom. God bless.